Greetings to all those who are watching. This is Rasul Rabbi Rishi monk. I thought I'd do a second video going through a book list. So just a couple of, I'm going to show you a couple of books that I've read and give you a short description of what's inside the books and what sort of information you would hope to find if you were to read the book. I just think for those who are interested in metaphysics, those who are interested in energetic healing, because I'm also a Reiki master and I also practice Qigong, got a couple of books on breath work and how to breathe and then to sort of extend your life through breathing techniques and stretching, yoga, so to speak. So I'm just going to go through a couple of books that I think are interesting, a couple of books that I think may be beneficial in terms of psychology and the power of the subconscious mind also. So the first one I'm going to show you is called Silent Power by Stuart Wilde, I believe. This book is short, swift, as you can see. Couple pages, not much, you know, that's me. I always highlight the books that I've read, just in case I want to go back inside and read them, and I just have to go straight to the highlights because I know those are the parts that I found really profound and interesting. So, excuse me, pardon me. Right, so this book is, I would say this book is about the subconscious mind. It's about psychology, and it's more showing you how to utilize the power of silence to cultivate power. So, you know, when you're silent in amongst a mist of people, you cultivate more power than when you are talking or giving your opinion. So to summarize it, it's a discussion on how silence can be a potent tool to acquire power. Very good book. I recommend you get it. Okay, that's now The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy, revised by Dr. Ian McHahan, I believe. This book, if you are a Christian or if you are into the Bible, this book would be good. He utilizes Bible quotes to qualify the power of the subconscious mind and how the Bible is basically how the Bible is an explanation of how to tap into the power of your subconscious mind. So very, very good book for those who are biblical and who like the biblical narrative. For my metaphysicians and for my occultists and my magicians out there, this, if you haven't come across it already, I'm sure you might have heard people talking about it. It's the Kybalion by the Three Initiates. This talks about the 7 hermetic principles of, I think it'll be wise for me to say them. The 7 hermetic principles is vibration, polarity, rhythm, causation, gender, mentalism. That's if I got all 7. I'm not sure if I said all 7. Let me just go through. Yeah, so mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, and gender. And this book basically talks about these 7 principles and how they interplay with each other and how they affect us as humans on a daily basis. But it's a very good tool to steady your mind into the realm of mysticism, and I recommend it. Even if you're not a mystic or an occultist or a magician, I recommend it because I think it's a good eye opener and it's a good mind opener. So for the people who I like wisdom teachings. And what's the word? If you are into wisdom teachings, i.e. proverbs, whether it's folk proverbs or biblical proverbs or Quranic whatever form of proverb that you'd like, this book I'm about to show you, it's supposed to be one of the oldest books in the world. It's called The Teachings of Ptah Hotep. A very good book. It's basically, very, very thin, not much to get through. You can read this in an hour. Come on. You know what I mean? You can read this in an hour. Apologies. But it's basically ancient Egyptian, or for those who speak Meduneta, Kemetic language. It's ancient Kemetic proverbs about how to live a edified life, and how to to have proper mannerisms. Just like the biblical proverbs. It's illustrious though. I suggest you read this. And if you are somebody who's into Kemetic philosophy and spirituality, I think you'll enjoy this. Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett, Top Rules for Success. It's alright. It's okay. I did pick up a few things. I wouldn't recommend it in terms of starting a business, but in terms of strategy and in terms of thinking of starting a business, but would like to get some strategy in place in your mind before you start to put things physically in place, then this would be good. For those who practice Reiki, I think this is one of the best books you can ever get for Reiki. Call me biased. It's The Spirit of Reiki, by Walter Lubeck, Frank Ajava Peter, and William Lee Rand. Very good book. It delves into the history of Reiki. It delves into the history of Dr. Usui. Right. My pronunciation is terrible when it comes to that name. But very useful, very insightful, and it takes you into a trip into Japan, into its history, into its philosophy, and into the life of the guy who purportedly started the whole Reiki system. Very insightful. If you're into Reiki, you might have heard of this book before, but I suggest you get this book. So, for my Freemasons, here we go. This is Freemasonry of the Ancient Egyptians, and by Manly People. And all it does is elucidate the connections between Freemasonry and ancient Egyptian spirituality in terms of the Osirian myth, and the whole resurrection in terms of ancient Egyptian philosophy, and how it ties into Freemasonic thought. So it's interesting, it's good. For those who are interested in Freemasonry, or for my Freemason brothers and sisters out there who haven't heard of this, then I'm not a Mason, just to put it out there, I'm not a Mason. But those who want to delve deeper into the subject, then this would be a good start. Okay. Self-Healing by Louise Hay. I'm sure a lot of people in the New Age movement have heard of Louise Hay. Very insightful book in terms of showing you how your thoughts create your health, your subconscious patterns create your physical pattern. Very useful, very insightful. Talks about reflexology, talks about acupuncture, talks about acupressure, talks about massage. It's a very useful tool, I must admit. I enjoy it. So here's a little diagram from it. Utilizing the chakra system. It's an insightful book, and there's a lot of and herbology. So there's a lot of useful tips on how to treat everyday symptoms for different ailments. So if you're into alternative therapy, you will like this. The Tao of Breathing, yeah, by Dennis Lewis. This book changed my life, and I'll explain why. So in the beginning of the book, the guy is a PhD, I believe. Let me, before I start quoting nonsense, yeah. So Dennis Lewis teaches authentic breathing, Qigong meditation, self-inquiry. He's the author of Free Your Breath, Free Your Life, and Natural Breathing. In addition, he's a co-editor with Jacob Needleman, of Sacred Tradition and Present Need and On the Way to Self-Knowledge. I believe he's a PhD, from what I remember. And if he's not, I don't think that makes a difference. But the reason why this book was so inspirational for me, in the beginning of the book, he talks about how breath work or energy work is something you can find in existence in Mesopotamia and in ancient Egyptian cultures. So we know, for those who are into Kemet, and for those who are Hebrew Israelites, or those who want to claim Mesopotamia as their ancestry, we know that they practiced forms of Qigong, or forms of energy breath work, from written records. So I mean, I'd like to find something in here that I could read, because I think this book is it's so key. Reading this book will teach you about breathing, about oxygen, about ki or chi, what we call ki or chi, because this guy here propagates the theory that chi may be the negative ions in our atmosphere, because the more negative ions you have in your atmosphere, the better your health is. Trees grow better in a place where there's negative ions, and you normally find negative ions in the places where running water is, or there's a lot of natural, a lot of nature. Yeah, a lot of nature. So where trees are, so areas of forest, the terrain, where the rivers are flowing, where the seas, there's a lot of negative ions in the atmosphere, and this is very good for our health. I mean, I would love to find. So there we go. I'll read a little bit that I've highlighted. Every time we inhale, we take in some 10 to the power 22 atoms, including approximately 1 million of the same atoms of air inhaled. By Lao Tzu, Buddha, Christ, and everyone else who has ever lived on this earth. Every time we exhale, we return these atoms to the atmosphere to be renewed for both present and future generations. Every time we inhale, we absorb oxygen expelled into the atmosphere as a waste product by the Earth's plant life. Every time we exhale, we expel carbon dioxide as a waste product into the atmosphere, where it can eventually be absorbed by this same plant life. In nature, nothing is wasted. Our breath is a link into the cosmic ecology in the conservation, transformation, and exchange of substances in nature's complex metabolism. It connects our so-called inner world with the vast scale of the outer world of the earth and its atmosphere. I mean, come on, that's poetic. God damn, that shit is poetic. I don't care what anyone tells me. That shit's poetic. God damn. You know what I mean? So, I think this book, for those who are studying Qigong, yoga, breath work, conscious breathing, anything like that, this is the book I would recommend that you get. And it's very scientific. as you heard, and in here it talks about healing sounds for my Qigong practitioners. We know what he. Oh look, there's a lovely diagram. You know, beautiful. So and on. It's got beautiful diagrams in here explaining, how the oxygen and the breath and everything works. It's an amazing tool for my Qigong, especially my Qigong practice. And anyone who's a Taoist or into Taoism, very good. Right. The blueprint! I want to swear. Goddamn. The blueprint, motherfuckers. The blueprint. This is a good book. Right? This is a good book. This book talks about the metaphysical descent of manifestation. It talks about the particle and the wave. It talks about how your focused thought changes reality. It's an excellent book for those who think the law of attraction is bullshit. Because this doesn't talk about the law of attraction. I've got my own personal views in the law of attraction. It's one law out of many, and if you just focus on that one law, it's tricky. It's tricky. I don't want to talk much on it. It's not really my forte. It's not my topic. It's not my subject. It's not what I do. However, the blueprint by L. Fuchs, L.F.U.C.H.S. So it's L. Fuchs. I believe the CH sound is rendered as a k, because the CH can be rendered as a k. So I think it's L. Fuchs, not L. Fuchs. Almost like swearing. But anyway, L. Fuchs. Blueprint. Success is a state of mind. I think I might even read this book again. Talks about DNA. Talks about the wave and the particles. See if I can find a lovely diagram. Oh no, let me find something else. The creation blueprint. So let me read this. Your dominant thoughts and feelings are energy. You naturally project and broadcast this energy into the universe constantly. It then harmonizes the energy of a harmonious frequency in waveforms and transmute these waveforms into particles. These particles will then attract additional particles that harmonize with it and create matter. Ooh. This is how your thoughts and feelings become your physical reality. Whatever you think and feel strongly about will happen. And there's an old axiom. I don't know where it's from, but I believe it to be true. And it's the universe brings into play either your greatest fear or what you love the most or what you fear the most. So, see if I can find something else to read from this book. This book's, oh, there we go, look. It's a lovely diagram here. Don't know if you can see it properly, but there's another lovely diagram. Lovely. I'm gonna read one more thing before I put it away. But it's got lots of tools and lots of things you can utilize to help yourself to increase your manifestation in terms of bringing projects alive, and in terms of just genuinely increasing your focus, so see if I can find one more thing. I love this depiction of a man being held down, locked down by religion, misfortunes, and consumerism. Isn't that the modern man? literally. So, let's see if I can find something to read for you guys. Ah, this sounds good. Freedom is frequency, and it is always your choice. You decide which memes you do and do not subscribe to. If a meme no longer serves you, then cut it and let it go. There are many positive memes that you can create and subscribe to. Positive memes vibrate on a high frequency. For example, you can agree to always be healthy and wealthy. That is a good meme. Whatever you touch turns to gold is another good meme. You are the creator of your own universe is a meme that everyone should subscribe to. Bottom line is, you must use your discretion in auditing your memes, although there are certain meme codes that we all subscribe to in order to have order in our universe. The personal ones are those that we should inspect and evaluate and then re-evaluate every so often. Memes are programs, so if you want to reprogram any part of your life, examine the memes or programs that you have put in place in the particular part of your life. Excellent. I could have said it better myself. So yeah, I think this book is amazing. Oh, diagram. Got to show you. When I see a diagram, I just feel like I have to show you. I like diagrams in my books. I'm visual. The DNA Field and the Law of Resonance by Pierre Frank, I believe. I could be rendering the surname wrong, but if you Google the title, the DNA Field and the Law of Resonance. This book basically, so let me just briefly say, this book, there's an experiment that was carried out by some scientist who took DNA from participants and kept it somewhere. Now every time the person went through some sort of change, the DNA that they kept as a sample also went through the same change. So this book shows you that your DNA can still be connected from a distance, and African people have been knowing this for ages. For anybody who participates in voodoo, Santeria, when you really want to do something wicked or nasty, they'll ask you to get something from the person you want to deal with. Either a hair or a shoe, and they would utilize that as what they would call a point of contact, or personal concerns. So it's not new information, but it has a scientific base now. And in here, not only that, it also shows you that whenever the people who were being experimented on were exposed to good things, their DNA also changed. It also tells you here that you can reprogram your DNA. So the stuff they call junk DNA can be sort of tickled to wake up. So it's a lovely book. It's a great book. It's a wonderful read. I loved it. I enjoyed every second of reading this book. Every time I was just like, this book is literally nearly every page is highlighted. Nearly every page is highlighted. Yeah, because the information was just like delicious. Yeah, delicious. So let's see. Read you one of these lovely quotes in the book. Our resonance is a kind of matrix that exists deep within us. It sends information outward that corresponds with our essence and draws only the similar into our life. We can therefore use our environment as a type of reading system to understand our resonance. From the one who comes to us, or the one we draw in, we can read how we are programmed in our innermost being. Our connection with all things help us understand ourselves better and fulfill our potential. Sublime. Sublime. Good read. Recommend it for anybody who's very scientific in terms of understanding the nature of reality, and it's all in terms of understanding the nature of mysticism and magic from a scientific point of view, because in here he's got a lot of quotes from Lao Tzu, he's got a lot of quotes from Buddha, he's got a lot of quotes from quotes and maxims from people in the past who we would say are quite knowledgeable and influential. I think he's got a quote from Leonardo da Vinci in here, and a couple of other people who are masterminds at their craft. Inspirational, good read. Copy it if you can. Here we go. This book was given to me by a friend, The Intuitive Way. The Intuitive Way, a guide to living from inner wisdom, by Penny Pierce. This book is amazing, absolutely fantastic, right? If you're struggling with working with your intuition, if you're struggling with dealing with your subconscious mind, if you want to know how your subconscious mind works, and you want to know how your intuitive mind works, and how to utilize those two things in cohesion with each other, then this is a perfect book. It's got exercises, and it's also like the other book that I showed you, the DNA Field, and the Law of Resonance. It also has lots of quotes and lots of maxims from inspirational people of the past. I believe some still living. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I read this book a long time ago, but it's an amazing book. That's diagrams again. Excellent book. So I'll read a snippet. Psychologist Franz Vaughan says something similar, placing emphasis on the importance of regular meditative practice. The silent mind cultivated many different forms of meditation is the matrix of intuition. When you are in touch with the still points at the center of your being, there is no need to use imagery or verbal exercise to activate intuition. It flows by itself, unimpeded by fears and preoccupation. Beautiful. Sublime. Sublime. And then the last book I'm going to show you, which I haven't finished yet but I'm currently reading, is Transform Your Energy, Change Your Life, Nichiren Buddhism. This book is beautiful. As you can see, this is where I'm up to in a little bookmark, but right. For those who participate in Nichiren Buddhism, Nichiren Buddhism is very unique to the rest of the other Buddhist sects. I believe it's a branch of Mahayana Buddhism, which is the great vehicle, because there's about three, I believe, sort of offshoots of Buddhism, but the two major ones are Mahayana and Theravada. And Mahayana means the great vehicle, and Theravada means the little vehicle. If I'm wrong, please correct me. I'm happy to be corrected. And Nichiren Buddhism is unique because for all you need to practice is the what they term in Nichiren Buddhism Gohonzon, which is a mandala. If anyone knows about Eastern philosophies, a mandala is a picture or a set of words or or calligraphy that is used as a point of focus while somebody's either meditating or chanting. And in this Gohonzon is a list of different deities and a list of different forces and principles. And in the middle of this Gohonzon is what we as Nichiren Buddhists, because I practice Nichiren Buddhism, term Daimoku. And the Daimoku is literally the chant Namma Yoho Renge Kyo. Namma Yoho Renge Kyo is the title of the Lotus Sutra. The Lotus Sutra is one of the sutras given by Buddha, and the Namma Yoho Renge Kyo is like a expedition of the whole of the Buddhist philosophy. Nichiren's proposition is that by chanting Namma Yoho Renge Kyo, you activate your innate Buddhahood. You actually become a walking Bodhisattva, which is somebody who is enlightened and somebody who stays here to enlighten other people. It's an amazing sutra, it's an amazing chant. It's actually been named the miracle mantra, because anybody who tries it always sees a change. Always sees a change, always sees a result. So it's a very useful tool. And me being scientific in the way I explore and think, I decided to get a book that explains it from a scientific point of view. So this book delves into the chakras, it delves into the frequency of disease and the frequency of the aura and the frequency of the chant. It goes into the Kirlian. Anybody who knows about the Kirlian camera, and they took a picture of somebody before the chant and after the chant and seen that literally the energy was raised and the chakras were aligned a lot more after 10 minutes of chanting. It also has the syllables of this chant lined up with your chakras to show you which syllable is actually affecting which chakra. So see if I can find that for you. I think it's for those who practice Nichiren Buddhism. It's a lovely book. Namma Yoho Renge Kyo. Yeah, very good, very good. It also gives you insight to the essence and the core of Nichiren Buddhism with a scientific flair. I think it's a lovely book. Even if you are not a Nichiren Buddhist but you are a Buddhist, then this would be an amazing book to read, just to broaden your horizons on the other practices out there. But to me, Nichiren, for those who are hoodoo practitioners or voodoo practitioners, Nichiren is literally the Saint Expedite of his time. Yeah, literally the Saint Expedite of his time, because he read through the whole stuff, said, you know what, this is lovely, but no thank you. Just use this, and you get everything else with it. Do you know what I mean? So how can you knock it? You know what I mean? How can you knock it? You know what they say, don't knock it till you try it. But enough of that. So the book, it's a lovely description. It has another book that oh look, there we go. So there's a little picture before and after chanting. Yeah, lovely. See if we can find something. The Gohonzon, which is a mandala. See if I can find. But they do have a. So this is what they call the Gohonzon. Yeah. Cool. But yeah, Namma Yoho Renge Kyo means devotion to the mystical law of the universe. Oh no, sorry, I stand corrected. Devotion to the mystical law of cause and effect. So it's like chanting Namma Yoho Renge Kyo is literally in a sense slipping into the uh, how can I say, slipping into the nooks and crannies of the atoms or the subatomic realm, and then sort of sitting there and making a decision from there. It's a way of slipping into your Buddhahood or slipping into your mystical nature, and then manifesting from there. It's a very powerful tool, and if you're somebody who feels drawn to it, I'd implore that you use it. It works wonders, and it's very good in terms of just energizing you. For those who practice energy medicine, either qigong, yoga, or reiki, any other form of energy medicine, there's quite a few forms. The same effect you get after a qigong session or after a reiki session, by the end of 10 to 20 minutes of chanting Namma Yoho Renge Kyo, it's the same energy effect. You feel energized, you feel vibrant, you feel happy, you feel joyful. It's a very powerful tool, and this book gives you a scientific depiction. There's a part 2 of this book that I have. I don't know the title. I haven't know the title off my head. I haven't read it, but be rest assured once I read it, I'll put it up as a book review and let you know what I think. Okay, those are a list of books I thought I'd go through. If you enjoyed my first video and this video, please subscribe. If you got any questions, please let me know. Please hit me up on Instagram, and what can I say? Yeah, it's been an interesting journey. My second video on YouTube. I hope to make many more. Just trying to think about the subjects and the topics that I would like to put out there, and obviously the subject and topics that I feel a lot of people would like to hear. So if you're watching this video and anything that I've discussed in the past video or this video seems very interesting and you want me to expatiate on anything, please leave a message or visit Rasul_Rabbi on Instagram and personally DM me, and I will prepare a video to address that. Because I feel like a lot of what I'm saying is nothing new, and there's quite a few people on the internet that are propagating or talking about the same things that I discuss here. So, you know, they say there's nothing new underneath the sun. So I don't want to simply be regurgitating what, you know, other people are talking about. However, if you are listening to me and you feel that I slip into your niche of learning or understanding or philosophy or mysticism, then, you know, hit me up and we can have a dialogue and see where we can go from there. So just to let you know, I teach Kabbalah, I teach mysticism, I teach Qigong and Reiki, and if you want any of my services, then also DM me and let me know. And I also sell sigil art. So if you go on my page on Instagram, once again, RASUL Rasul_RABBI Rabbi, you'll see some of my art. So in my lovely signature mood, I'll put it on my right hand. Could do it better with this hand. Live long and prosper. Blessed love, family. Yeah.